And we're back again. Here we are at the bandsaw. We've done the actual lesson on how to use this machine. We need to now set it, of course, as we said before, all the way down and then up just a hair, about 1/4 inch to 1/8 of an inch. Now I'm ready to cut. I'm gonna use my push stick on the outside, but my hand's on the hand on the outside, push stick on the inside, and now I'm going to cut, making sure, of course, I'm properly attired for the job. And I'll cut right on the line. Now this can be done on a chop saw, I guess, but for a UEI situation, I'd rather have it cut by the bandsaw. That can be fixed up on a sander if we wanted to, but I did a pretty good job, so it should be no problem. So come on over here to the gluing table. So on the gluing table, we've got all these pieces with the T going up, which is kind of important. And what I'm going to do now is line these all up so that they match, so that the glue portions on them match, as we did before. As best that they can be. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to put this on like so. Look at how that fits in. See that? There we go, and that fits in like that. Wonderful. Then I find the next one. It's going to fit in right there. Use this one right here. Beautiful. And I'll put in actually this one. And I'll put this one in here. And this one here. So now they all fit into those dados, and I'm going to do a dry clamping, meaning no glue, to make sure that everything fits. You never know whether it's going to fit perfectly or not. So I'm going to just open up this clamp like so. There we go. That's how you open up a clamp when you're by yourself. Just hook it onto a vise like I just did and pull on it. It's nice if you have somebody to help you, that they can actually pull on it. Anyway, so I'm going to put this in like this, tighten it up, and voila, it fits beautiful. Okay, so that's right on the money again, and the bottom fits in. That's right on. Then I'm going to have a mallet here. I can take this apart now because I need to put glue into it. I have this board ready also for it to glue on. I'm going to just move that over to the side here and spread it out like this, like that, like this, so that I can get it together. I'm going to put this off to the side here. Don't crowd the issue. There we go. Now, some glue. Now, I'm going to put glue on these corners here like this. You only have to put it on one side, like one edge, not two edges. You don't want too much glue. The idea of the glue is to get into the pores of the wood and sort of sink right into the cellular fiber of the wood. If you put too much glue on, you'll basically have the wood floating on glue, and the glue will then become very, very, it'll dry, but it won't be a solid join. It'll be more of a rubbery join. You don't want that either. So you want to have a nice solid join by having just the right amount of glue, and don't overdo it. So just put it on one side. Putting it on two sides doesn't help you any. Okay, there we go. Okay, that's that one, and then this one. So I got every second one that I put glue on. That speeds up the process as well. There we go. Okay, put the finger off there. Try to not be too messy, and you notice I'm not putting any glue on this, not necessary. And put the project back together like this, exactly as they had before. But you notice that we did what's called a dry clamp, and that dry clamp is so important. If you made a mistake and you didn't realize that the dry clamp is going to show you that mistake, and then you still have time to correct it. If you had put glue onto it before you dry clamped it and find out, oh my gosh, it's wrong, it's going to be much more difficult to correct that problem. So always correct things ahead of time so that everything is going to be beautiful. Okay, so now pull this together and clamp it nice and tight and hit it down. So we put one clamp at the bottom and another clamp at the top. Having all your clamps ready to put on is a good thing. If you have to go searching around for where your clamps are in the room after you put the glue on, you're going to waste valuable time. And time is of the essence when you're gluing. You don't have a lot of time to get this thing right, because if you waste your time looking for clamps and that sort of thing, you are going to be having glue dry up on you unnecessarily. So now I'm going to just tap that in, tap it down, tap it down. There we go. And crank that in tight. There we go. Okay, so that's done. And what I like to do is just wrap this up so I get rid of all the excess cord that I have here. Then bring in the piece that I want for the top of the box. And again, get some glue. It's just spilling out on me there. And I will put it on there. Now, before I actually do that, I'm going to take some paper towel, which I have here. You don't need a lot. It's not coming off the roll very nice. Maybe this one will. Let's get in there. This being a glue station, some students got glue on the paper towels. Okay, so I'm just going to wipe that off in there. Better to wipe it off now than afterwards, because after it's dry, it becomes much more difficult to clean up. All right, so now I'm going to just put this on, and you don't want to put it on so it's, again, you don't want to put on so much that it's thick on there. You just want to put enough that it gets the job done. And there we go. And I'm putting more towards the outside edge than the inside edge. So if it oozes out on the outside edge, and that's fine. If it oozes out on the inside edge, I can't get in there to clean up the glue until after I open this up, which is another lesson down the way. Okay, there we go. What am I going to do now? Grab a hold of this, flip it over, decide how I want that on there, and just gently put it down here and not move it. Once you've got it down, you don't move it anymore. I'm going to bring this to the edge of the table, and I have clamps ready to go. Again, if you have your clamps ready, it's going to make your job so much easier. And I'm going to clamp right on the joint, so that it's going to pull that joint nice and level. Now here's another thing about clamps. This clamp is not loaded. You need to put it so that there's more threads on this side, the right-hand side, than on the left-hand side. Now this clamp is loaded. Then I put it onto the project and push it down and hold it like that. And then tighten it up. Spin it. Another clamp on. Right on the corner again. Making sure the clamp is loaded. All too often, students don't have the clamps loaded and they tighten it and it doesn't go any further, Mr. Police. How come it's not going any further? Well, you don't have any more threads, so it's not going to tighten. So you make sure you have enough threads on the top. Clamp that. And clamp this. And then okay, so in very short order, we went from a board and some plywood and some glued together birch, and we have what the makings of a box. The next step will be, and the next program we have, is how do we take this apart and do the finishing process to make this into a beautiful box. Tune in.